And before he was fouled, he's called for travel.
And the call came from half court when the official that was about 5 feet away from the play never blew his whistle.
Owens misses, and Reggie Williams taps it away from Hardaway. Just starting this ball game, the Nuggets and the Warriors. This is for two. Anderson rips it away from Owens, and Cadillac Anderson, who has been a major force in this series, starts the Nuggets off.
Well, one place, Al, that the Nuggets have a big advantage against the Golden State Warriors is on the glass. In the 3 previous games, they have out-rebounded the Warriors by 36. And if they can work the offensive boards like Cadillac just did, they'll be in good shape tonight.
That foul was on Reggie Williams. Macon giving Mullen problems from behind. Mario Elie steps inside, and Tyrone Hill completes it. Known more for his rebounding. He's averaging only 7 points a game, but he scores the first bucket for the Warriors. Mutombo the double team and gets the second traveling violation. Second one called by Garretson.
Well, if there was some question about the first travel on Dikembe, there was no doubt on that one. He might have traveled 2 or 3 times.
Mullen, a flick of the wrist, swish, and it's a 4-2 Warrior lead. Warriors have been out-rebounded badly in this 3-game losing streak. Around 13 per game. Mutombo inside, no double team here. Now Elie runs to him. Fade away by Mutombo, and it turns into an assist. Cadillac Anderson was averaging 17 a game against the Warriors. He was the Nuggets' leading scorer against Golden State in each of the first 2. And right now it's the Warriors 4 and Anderson 4. They give Owens the shot, flat off the back of the rim, and inside the call goes against Golden State. Tyrone Hill pushing off and is nailed with his first foul.
That was one of the matchups coming into this game that the Nugget coaching staff was real concerned about. Cadillac trying to guard Billy Owens, but Owens missed that shot badly from the outside.
Knotted up at 4, 2 minutes into the game. Again, it goes to Mutombo. Kept alive by Garland. Macon, the hard drive. Anderson on the boards, but it's ripped away by Tyrone Hill. Mario Elie making it all the way from the CBA and shows his determination on the hard drive. And the foul is on Macon.
Nuggets that time just didn't do a good job getting back defensively. Elie at half court realizes he's got a lane all the way to the basket. By the time Macon recovers defensively, he picks up the foul, and Elie will have 2 free throws.
Former 5th-round draft pick when there were 5th-round draft choices in 1985 by the Milwaukee Bucks, then coached by Don Nelson. Nelson always had an eye for Elie, even though he moved around about every league under the sun. And Nelson last year in need grasped Elie from the CBA, and here he is now starting, and a very productive starter for the Warriors. Guy who just does all the little things and serves a great purpose and a role here for this Golden State team that's been in first place for most of this season. 6-4 in favor of the Warriors. Time ticking away. Just 5 seconds for the Nuggets to shoot. Williams taking it all the way. Macon, as the 24-second clock goes off, but in possession, the Warriors twirling as Mullen. And the Nuggets, they'll get back nicely and don't let them get to the basket.
Reggie Williams that time made a nice move along the baseline, but he didn't have any room to get the shot up to the basket. Had to kick it out to Mark. Macon missed badly as the 24-second clock expired.
The double team on Mullen, and the jump ball is called. Although Mullen will have the height advantage. All-Star starter Chris Mullen started last year and was the first Warrior to start an All-Star game since Rick Barry back in 1978.
And of course, Don Nelson will be the coach of the Western Conference All-Stars. Al, one thing I found hard to believe as that call is going to go against Billy Owens. Don Nelson, in 30 years of NBA experience, this will be his first All-Star game.
And he is thrilled and delighted. Like a child thinking of it. And Garland has a possible 3-point play. He's as giddy as a child getting his first Christmas present.
I'll tell you who else is as giddy as a child is Winston Garland, the way he's been playing lately. He was one of the bright spots in the game last night against LA. He gets Hardaway in the air. Owens comes over and flattens Garland, and he still gets nothing but net.
It's run down by Owens. 8-6 lead for the Warriors. The crowd of over 15,000 getting a little impatient. Warriors have lost the last 2 at home to the Knicks and to Portland. Owens grabs his own rebound. Owens, who adds tremendous versatility to the Warriors, could play any of 3 positions: the big guard, small forward, or power forward. Came over here, of course, for Mitch Richmond, who's starred here for several years. One of the leading scorers in the league. This is off of Mutombo, and Mutombo has a word with Daryl Garrettson. I think this is the first time Mutombo has played in a game that Garrettson has reffed, and I think the Nuggets coaches should have a little discussion with Dikembe about how much he can argue with this referee. Mullen pulls the trigger. 4th leading scorer in the league at 27 a game. Yeah, the Warriors now a 10-6 lead, 4 minutes into the ball game.
And you see the defensive strategy by Golden State is to get Tyrone Hill around in front of Dikembe and make the Nuggets make a perfect lob pass into him. Turnover that time.
And Hardaway gift wraps it for Tyrone Hill. Nuggets trying it to get it into Mutombo every time down. And every time down, in this case, it's turned into a turnover. Very difficult team to play against. The Warriors defense very pesky.
20, Mario Ellie, his first personal foul.
This is on Ellie, his first.
You see Ellie jump out in front of Dikembe and try to slow him down coming across to the basket, but he got his elbows up, and that's what Dikembe has done against the Warriors. Some pretty impressive numbers. No wonder Don Nelson says he loves the young Nugget center.
He has a career high in scoring and a career high in rebound, both coming against Golden State. That pass almost to the coach. And a foul against Chris Mullen. Well, the fouls right now being racked up by the Warriors, which is very much a change from the first 3 games. But Don Nelson's team has gone to the line 27 more times than the Nuggets so far in this series.
And that's exactly where the Warriors have won the first 3 games, because they've been badly out-rebounded, and the Nuggets really haven't played that badly against Golden State, but the Warriors shooting many more free throws, and if you get to the free throw line, you have to make it. One of the better shooters, free throw shooters in a Nuggets uniform, Reggie Williams, misses the first one.
Paul Westhead reacting, wondering, is it going to be that kind of night? First point for Reggie Williams. The Warriors lead it by 5. Warriors have a better record on the road than they do at home. They're 13-6 away from the Coliseum, 13-7 on their home floor. Tyrone Hill, we mentioned moments ago, not an offensive threat.
Well, you see what he's doing, Al, is he's taking the ball right to Dikembe, and he's shooting it right under Dikembe's chin, and Mutombo can't get those long arms up quick enough to contest Hill's shot.
Hill at 6'9" gives up about 5 inches to Mutombo. Making swish. And that was a tough shot, not because of the defense, but because Mutombo at 7'2" was the screen. Mullen, that little move to free himself. Mutombo rips it down. 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Garland, the former Warrior, stops and pops. And there's Hill, who is looking like an all-star here in this first quarter. Hardaway, we haven't even heard from him. It's off of Macon and out of bounds as a timeout is called here in the first quarter. This game is brought to you by The Drive. Puts it in, and the Warriors lead by the score of 16-9. Halfway through this first quarter, the Nuggets have certainly had their difficulties in the first quarter on the road. A matter of fact, of their 18 road games, in 9 of them they failed to hit 20 points. in the first quarter.
Well, once again, Al, I think you can point to the inexperience. When you go on the road in the NBA, you have to be tough mentally. I don't think the Nuggets quite have that toughness yet.
Stripped by Reggie Williams. And the irony of this game is the Warriors are getting their points inside. The Nuggets trying to go to Mutombo, but the Warriors doing a good job forcing turnovers, but not there. Nice move by the Nuggets all-star Dikembe Mutombo. And Denver now down by 5.
And that time Dikembe made a quick move as soon as he got the ball and didn't let the double team develop.
Steal by Macon, but Ellie gets it back. And Mullen using the body. Ripped down by Anderson. Williams was all the way down floor, but Anderson couldn't find him. He finds Macon, though. And the dish to Williams.
Number 34, Reggie Williams.
The Nuggets closed the gap to 3. Williams is shaking his hand. May have hit it on the rim of the backboard going up for that shot, and it's his shooting hand. Tim Hardaway has been shut out so far. And a whistle, a foul called against Macon. So Macon has his second personal foul. Couple of changes for the Nuggets as Garland goes to the bench along with Cadillac Anderson. Joe Wolf comes in along with Chris Jackson. And Sarunas Marciulionis appears for the first time in 3 games for the Warriors. He missed the last 2 because of back spasms. Big favorite in this area, the All-American out of Stanford, Todd Lichty is in. The crowd reacts for the announcement of Marciulionis. Inside, it's Owens who shows you a beautiful move. 6 points now for Owens, and the Warriors continue to hammer away inside. Sarunas Marciulionis on Williams. Chris Jackson looking for that shooting touch. And it's Hill who whips it out to Hardaway. Marciulionis back to Hardaway. The force and sweeping the boards. Dikembe Mutombo. Here's Lichty. Pulls the trigger. Joe Wolf. And the scrappy Joe Wolf getting his first basket. And again, it's only a 3-point lead for the Warriors.
Well, the Nuggets continue to do a good job on the offensive boards, and as long as they do that, they're going to stay close in this game.
Reaching in was Todd Lichty, and he gets nailed with a personal foul.
Personal foul. Denver's 4th team foul period.
And that will send Chris Mullen to the line. So Todd Lichty, who had one of his best stretches the last time here, 12 points, 5 of 6 from the floor, and always loves to come back to play in Oakland.
Well, Todd's been playing well of late. Over the last 3 games, he's 8 of 11 from the floor, and it was his quick 15 points against Milwaukee last Saturday night that really got the Nuggets in a position to win that game in overtime.
Legal defense is called on the Warriors. You will see that quite often. The Warriors do a lot of gambling on defense, and that one doesn't even disturb Coach Don Nelson, who tonight is in a record 2,479th game as either a player or a coach. Not setting the record. He set that long time ago. As Dan mentioned, is 30 years involved in the NBA. Mutombo, the double team. And now hustling out is Mullen. Three minutes left. Ooh, that one almost hit the official. Lichty behind the back against Marciulionis. And a beauty.
Well, when Todd's hitting the outside jumper, then that opens up the lane to the basket, and Lichty is tremendous at getting to the goal and shooting it with the left hand.
The rejection by Mutombo. Here's Williams flying out for the Nuggets. Jackson stripped and fouled by Marciulionis. And no argument from the former Lithuanian star, Sarunas Marciulionis, who is the highest scoring sixth man in the league. So Paul Westhead's team staying close as a timeout is taken at the Oakland Coliseum. The Warriors by 3 over the
got 4 block shots. There's the last one against Tyrone Hill.
So 2 electrifying plays for the Nuggets. And they now look to get even closer to the hometown Golden State Warriors. And we're just kind of taking our time getting back into the game. Gives us a chance to check that 7-Eleven Citgo NBA scoreboard.
76ers easily at home. New York wins on the road, and Seattle, who the Nuggets realistically are chasing for that last playoff spot, a win against the Nuggets East, the Charlotte Hornets.
Who would have ever thought at midseason Nuggets would be just 3 games out of a playoff spot? But it's now 3.5 with Seattle winning this evening. The Nuggets have inched to within 1. 2.5 to go in the first quarter. Hardaway now taking Jackson inside. And the strip by Lichty. The Nuggets with a basket to take the lead. A great catch by Williams, who's asking for the foul. Had to really stretch it out to get that one. Hardaway still looking for his first hoop. The Nuggets by 1, and they're on the run. Lichty loses to Marciulionis, but Mutombo gets it back, and he actually shot down at the basket. And the Nuggets have forged in front by 3.
Marciulionis is always reaching in defensively, and there he has the turnover as he travels. He's already gotten a foul call because of it, but you have to be very careful with the basketball around Marciulionis because he's always reaching in, trying to knock it away. He got it from Lichty the last time, but Mutombo recovered.
The Nuggets with an 8-point outburst in the last minute and a half, and tonight, here they are in the first quarter, getting it from the bench. Did not last night against L.A. That's the 3rd traveling violation called against Dikembe Mutombo. Mutombo 4 blocks at the other end, but having problems with the heat on the offensive end.
The other injured Warrior that has missed the last 2 games, Victor Alexander. He's been out the last 2 games because of an ankle injury. Comes in for Tyrone Hill, and Marcus Liberty now will get a chance to come in.
Number 30, Marcus Liberty.
And he's going to replace Reggie Williams.
Placing number 34, Reggie Williams.
Williams high man with 5. Alexander actually was injured when he tripped over his own man, Vincent Askew. And he's a man who's a pretty nice touch from the outside and pretty bulky on the inside. Mullen pulls up quickly, and it's grabbed by Lichty. Lichty goes behind the back to elude Owens. Cold off the bench, Liberty no. But Mutombo gets the big hands up there.
3 seconds.
3 men on him. That almost went in. Instead, a foul whistled on the Warriors.
Number 10, Tim Hardaway.
Tim Hardaway. So Hardaway now has his first personal foul, and he has more personal fouls than points.
And we'll take a look as a nice pass coming up from Joe Wolf finds Liberty inside. Right there, Hardaway reaching in with the foul. Hardaway's been the most consistent Warrior in this series. He has scored 25, 27, and 27, but he's having a hard time getting it going tonight. Cadillac will come in, and Dikembe will get his first blow of the game.
Earlier in this week, as we mentioned, Mullen against Portland played 53 minutes, every minute of an overtime game, and so did Hardaway. And Hardaway, the next night against the Lakers, came back and scored only 10 points, and in a frustrated manner got into several altercations with the Lakers and was eventually ejected with 2 technical fouls. There goes Hardaway pushing off. He will be playing, of course, in the All-Star game. Mullen for the reverse.
But if you watch the Warriors so far in this first quarter, they're struggling with their shooting from the outside. And that might be a sign, Al, of how tired they really are. Yeah, the jump shot's not quite getting to the basket.
Nuggets lead it by 3 in the closing minute of the first quarter. Hardaway for 3. He has taken 4 shots, and he has missed all of them. They get it back. And double figures are ready from Mullen. 10 points in the first quarter, and the Warriors within 1.
Nuggets will hold it now for 1 shot. There's about 5 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
Jackson wanted to go. Paul Westhead told him to hold it. Now with 5 on the shot clock, Jackson pulls the trigger. Liberty rips it away from Owens. Marcus Liberty makes that one happen. And it leaves 5 seconds now for the Warriors. Hardaway coast to coast and gets the 2 back. Here's Lichty, and he can't beat the clock. We may have almost seen the quickest 3 baskets in the history of the league. But Todd Lichty trying to beat the clock and missed it by a fraction of a second. A thrilling finish to the first quarter here in Oakland. Only 83%. And he's only 75% tonight, 3 of 4. Member fans will be selecting tonight's Miller Genuine Draft Play of the Game. Alec Anderson was trying to qualify for that. Here's Hardaway, who can really run. Alexander, no. And it goes off of the Warriors and out of bounds, says Dal Garrettson. Wolf sees Lichty. Lichty against Marciulionis, and he whisks by him, but the spin on the shot takes the ball out of bounds.
And that pass from Joe Wolf, just a little bit over Todd's outside shoulder. And Lichty had to slow down, and that made the layup shot much more difficult.
Lichty's assignment now is to stop Chris Mullin. Marciulionis pulls the trigger. Alexander at the right place at the right time. Victor Alexander, the first-round draft pick out of Iowa State, at 6'9", and well, he's actually anywhere from 275 to 300 pounds. Right now, looks like he has been on the Pritikin diet. 1 minute into the second quarter. Jackson and Wolf. Wolf against the rookie. Swish.
42, Joe Wolf.
Joe Wolf taking it inside. And the Nuggets now all knotted up.
So far, the bench tonight playing much more like they did against Milwaukee and Utah.
Marciulionis just looking for the shot to return. And he gets his first of the night. Golden State by 2. Jackson leaves Hardaway in the dust, but Hardaway gets some help. Fast break, Mullin. Second personal foul on Lichty. It was Chris Mullin on the run.
Veteran move by Chris Mullin. Let's go back as Chris is going to come over and get the shot partially blocked by Victor Alexander. Hardaway to Mullin. Now watch this. Mullin makes sure that the contact is created, then just flips the ball up over his head. If it goes, that's a bonus. But he already knew he had earned the 2 free throws.
Chris Mullin, part of the Dream Team.
44, 44, 44.
The NBA representatives for the Olympic team in Barcelona this summer. Vincent Askew putting on the pressure. The Nuggets now lost 2 seconds on the 24-second clock, and again the full court pressure, and it's in the hands of Lichty. Find Jackson, and Mutombo will wait for some help. 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Al Albert along with Dan Issel in Oakland. Lichty wheels, and again the chopping forearm of Marciulionis, who just kind of digs in there.
Yeah, that's what I say. He's always reaching in. He's going to get away with a lot of them, and he'll take it when he gets called. Watch him reach in, try to knock the ball away from Todd and get nothing but forearm. Lichty, 88% free throw shooter, has 2.
Marciulionis, you wouldn't call a finesse player, would you?
No, not at all.
Lichty, an 88% shooter from the foul line, and you could see his percentage from the field, seemingly enjoying those trips on the road. So 4 points now for Lichty off the bench in his 3rd season out of Stanford. Nuggets are trailing by 2. Hardaway trying to give Chris Jackson a little dose of his medicine. And Chris Mullin goes downtown. A big start for Mullin. That's his 20th three-pointer this year. And Liberty comes right back and goes from afar. That's a 2-pointer for Liberty. Mullin again. And that shot kind of hooked But the Warriors with the offensive board. Alexander. And Lichty on the run, being followed by Mullen. Again, the behind-the-back dribble. Sets up Marcus Liberty. And Lichty and Liberty continue to work wonders off the bench.
I think the real key to Marcus's game is that he's starting to relax a little bit when he comes into the game. He's not always trying to force the action. He's letting the game come to him a little bit more.
Marcus Liberty right on cue. And what a start for Liberty. He becomes the first Nugget in double figures. And Denver regains the lead. On the hustle of Marcus Liberty, Marciulionis pile drives his way in. And he has mastered getting to the foul line.
I thought that call was going to go against Liberty, and so did Dikembe Mutombo. He's going over now to say something to Darryl Garretson. The foul goes against Mutombo, and you can see him talking to Darryl right now. Let's take another look at it. Marciulionis is going to take a very difficult shot. Where's the foul?
Still looking for it. Who goes to the foul line more than any Warrior? Not Mullen, not Hardaway, but this man, Marciulionis, who really has a way of slowing a game down. One of my favorite NBA players. 267 trips to the foul line. Just grinds it out. This foul is on Alexander.
But they're going to say that it came out before the shot, and so no basket, no free throws. The Nuggets simply inbound the ball. Watch Dikembe with a nice baseline move. Right there was the foul. Dikembe still on the floor, and no basket, and you can tell Dikembe doesn't like the call.
8.5 minutes left in the first half. The Nuggets and the Warriors in the trenches tonight. See 4 men collapse, and they'll continue to collapse until the Nuggets start hitting those outside shots. Mullen gets fouled in the backcourt, and Cadillac Anderson is called for his first.
Yeah, you make a good point, Al. There's really no reason not to collapse your defense in around the Nuggets' big people if Denver can't hit the perimeter jump shots. Mario Elie checks in, and Tim Hardaway, who is having a very unlike Hardaway game, gets his first blow of the evening.
Although with Hardaway, you know, there's always a second half. He finally hit that drive in the first quarter, first field goal in 5 attempts. And I wonder in his mind if he was thinking about that night against Minnesota when he went into the NBA record books shooting 0 for 17. Of all people to be in the record books for something like that, Tim Hardaway said after that game he always wanted to get into the NBA record books.
Well, you have to give a man confidence. He's missed the first 16 shots to shoot it again.
Mutombo and a beautiful setup by Marcus Liberty, who is stealing the show here in the first half for the Nuggets.
He's having a terrific first half, and give Dikembe some credit too. He continued to follow that break and was rewarded for it.
Vincent Askew, and he sets up Victor Alexander. So Victor Alexander didn't play the last 2 games with a sprained ankle, was doubtful tonight, seeing quite a bit of time. Mutombo over Alexander, and it's the Warriors on the run. Elie and Askew, their CBA connection, hunted down by Marciulionis. Slick pass. Block number 5, and now it is taken away. And give 2 points for the Warriors. A goaltend against Mutombo.
Let's take another look at it. I think the ball was over the cylinder. I think that was the call. It looked like it was still going up. Now it looks, I don't know. He might have just shot it all the way over the goal.
Yeah, the Nuggets are now asking why that was even a call. From the Nuggets' vantage point, they just thought Victor Alexander missed the shot.
Yeah. I don't know if we can see it again or not, but it looked like on the replay that Dikembe didn't even touch the ball.
Can make a big difference in a youngster's life.
20-second timeout. is called. And the man of the hour for the Nuggets so far has been Marcus Liberty, who leads the Nuggets in scoring with 10. And Liberty has come up with some dazzling plays, starting with that steal. And then ending on this end, not only gets the steal, but gets the no-look assist to Mutombo.
Yeah, and the key to that was that Dikembe never stopped. He kept coming the entire time.
The Nuggets are down by 2. And right now a discussion is going on of whether the Nuggets could get in Mark Macon at this point. And Dikembe Mutombo is talking about that last sequence with Darryl Garretson.
Well, it was a 20-second timeout called by Denver, so they're allowed one substitution. And now Macon does go into the game, and Lichty will sit down.
Tyrone Hill returns.
Tyrone Hill back in the lineup. Victor Alexander sits down. Nuggets looking for the tie. Winston Garland back in for the Nuggets. Started his NBA career right here in Golden State, coming out of the CBA. Leading the Warriors 2 years in a row in steals and assists. And he hits at the buzzer to signify 24 seconds had elapsed. But he beat the buzzer and ties the game. Mullen trying to shake free of Macon. Marciulionis, the patented drive. Hill ripped it away from Mutombo.
Been on Dikembe's fingertips.
Tyrone Hill not showing much of a shooting touch from the foul line, and he will have one more. Second season out of Xavier, where he was one of college's all-time leading rebounders.
Nuggets glad to see some of those missed free throws by the opposition. The Lakers last night set a team record. They were a perfect 27 of 27 from the line.
And Mutombo has a few words with Marciulionis. Marciulionis, who is turning into one of the premier hatchet men in the league.
He's the type of player you hate to play against because he's always got his hands in there, always knocking around. And it's one of those situations where he commits so many fouls, he's going to get away with some of them because if the referees called every one of them, he'd foul out in about 6 seconds.
And you can imagine the job he's been doing on Mutombo in this 4-game series. If you see Mutombo reacting towards a player the way he just did with Marciulionis. Bad pass by Garland, but the Nuggets get it back. Garland from 20. 6 minutes gone, 6 to go in the second quarter. A Garland sandwich there between Mullen and Hill. Hill way out of his range. And now Garland weaving his way through traffic. Macon from behind. Askew bats it away. The Warriors hanging on to a 1-point lead.
Nice play right here by Askew, who comes from behind and knocks the ball away from Macon.
Inside, the struggle continues. Mutombo being forearmed by Hill, and Hill gets the foul, his second. And now Jimmy Clark goes one-on-one with Hill. Hill continues to complain. He's going to have a tee pretty soon. Don Nelson always looking to work every angle, saying, how could you call it on my poor defenseless player?
Team foul number 4 on the Warriors, so the Nuggets will have free throws from here on out.
Mutombo gets away from Hill. Everybody else is on the scene. And this is called against the Warriors. Most of the crowd thought it would be a traveling. And there is the tee on Tyrone Hill. You knew it was brewing, especially with Jimmy Clark. And Jimmy Clark will not allow this to go any further. The slow burn by Don Nelson.
Dikembe with Warriors all around him. Nice move to the inside. Might have gotten away with the travel. Winston Garland hits the technical foul, and Dikembe says yes. And now Dikembe will go to the free throw line. A chance to complete the three-point play and give the Nuggets a 3-point lead.
And what could turn into a 4-point play for the Nuggets. 5:25 left in the first half. One thing Marciulionis has done for the Nuggets is rile up Dikembe Mutombo. Well, the Nuggets come away with the three-point play. Askew in the backcourt, along with Marciulionis, Ellie, Mullen, and Alexander. Small lineup here for the Warriors. Marciulionis makes the play, and Alexander finishes it. Alexander off the bench, 8 points, all in the second period.
And he just knocked Dikembe about 5 yards with a forearm.
Macon dunks inside. And a nice hard drive by Mark Macon, trying to loosen things up inside.
Well, that's a good point, Al, because as concerned as Golden State is with Dikembe, if you can penetrate, you're going to have an open shot.
Here's Mutombo. Macon being watched by Mullen. Macon drives by him, but Mullen gets the last laugh. No, he doesn't. Nuggets get the ball back, and they may have just gotten a break.
They may have just gotten a break. They did, because it was very obvious Mark Macon was the last player to touch this ball before it goes out of bounds. Macon with a strong move to the basket, but from the backside, Chris Mullen knocked it away, and right there you see the ball going off Mark Macon out of bounds.
4.5 left in the first half. Nuggets lead it by 2. The alley-oop to Mutombo, and he still has it, and this time draws the foul.
And even when he makes a basket, Dikembe gets punched. That time it was by his teammate. It was a congratulatory punch. And Dikembe working hard. He wants a towel.
Jim Peterson. Number 52, Victor Alexander.
Victor Alexander goes out, and the veteran Jim Peterson has just checked in.
Number 55, Dikembe.
I think everybody's getting a little short-tempered, Al. Dikembe chewing out the ball boy because it took him so long to get him a towel.
Ellie. And the pace quickening here in the late stages of the first half. Reggie Williams comes firing off the bench. 7 points for Williams. The Nuggets now lead it by 4. The Warriors have won each of the first 3 games against the Nuggets, but every game has been tight going into the fourth period. And it looks like the same scenario right here.
But Al, even though the Nuggets have a lead right now, I don't think that they want to get in a running game here on Golden State's home court. I think if they do that for the entire game, that'll be to the Warriors' benefit. Cadillac Anderson comes out with his second personal foul. Joe Wolf checks in. Billy Owens will have 2 free throws.
Owens at 6 points early in the first quarter, but a long rest on the bench. He comes off a 21-point performance, one of his better games against Los Angeles this week. And he's been putting some numbers on the boards lately. The Nuggets leading by 3. Williams whips it to Garland. Nuggets moving the ball around. 3:50 left in the first half. Quick movement. It won't count. There's a foul.
Going to go against Joe Wolf on the baseline, and I think it's a screen that Joe really didn't have to set. Mark Macon was so wide open, I don't think there was a chance that the defense was going to get to him in time.
And Mark doesn't like to see those swishes from 20 taken back. Only the second field goal for Hardaway. And it brings the Warriors to within 1, and it brings, with 3.5 minutes to go in the second quarter, a heated battle with the Golden State Warriors, and the Nuggets leading by 1. 7-11 Citgo scoreboard update.
Indiana beats Atlanta at home. Atlanta hot, but remember they'll be without Dominique the rest of the year. Detroit wins at home against Miami, and Boston falls by 2 in Milwaukee.
Macon and Garland in the backcourt. Williams, Wolf, and Mutombo up front for Denver. Chris Mullen, the high man, with 16, still resting on the Warrior bench. Jimmy Clark from underneath makes the call against Owens, and this is trouble for the Warriors, and Don Nelson knows it. That's the third foul now on Owens. Marciulionis also has 3, and Hill has 3.
Well, the Nuggets wanted to go inside to Joe Wolf that entire sequence. They finally got Wolf on the low post, and Owens called for hanging on. Joe, one of the better free throw shooters on the Nuggets team, has 2.
Big contribution off the bench tonight for Denver. Wolf is looking for the 20th point from the bench. Nuggets have 51 in the game. And he's got it. 6 for Wolf, who averages 4 per game. 3 minutes, 10 seconds left in the first half. Owens takes it in on Wolf. Peterson stripped by Williams. Williams taking Ellie.
Don Nelson taking a bit of a gamble, leaving Billy Owens in the game with those 3.
Mutombo, he loses. Reggie Williams wanted to take it coast to coast. Vincent Askew. And Askew walks in and brings the Warriors to within 1. 2.5 to go in the first half.
That's it. Go right inside against Owens. You know he's not going to be as aggressive with the 3 personal fouls. Joe taking him right to the basket.
5 on the shot clock. They'll call it on Garland. An offensive foul?
I think it's
on Wolf.
Offensive foul, number 22, Joe Wolf. Second personal foul.
Todd Lickney reports back in for the closing minutes.
Watch Joe Wolf right on the left of your screen, and they're going to call that an illegal pick. So Golden State with a chance to take the lead.
Peterson sets it up for Hardaway, who ducks inside and over Mutombo. Warriors now by 1. Is that something you practice?
How could you practice that? Golden State doesn't have anybody big enough to practice against.
Well, they put Hill on Victor Alexander's shoulders. Reggie Williams seems to be intent on putting some balls in the hoop. 1-point lead now for the Nuggets. Hardaway being watched closely by Garland, and he draws the foul.
Well, Winston Garland.
Tim Hardaway showing Garland several moves. Garland thought he was staying with him.
Watch Hardaway handle this basketball. Through the legs twice, the crossover dribble, and right there, kind of a picky foul. And there you see Golden State with 2 players among the league's top 7.
Mullen at number 4, Hardaway at number 7. Slow start for Hardaway, but now starting to gain some steam. 7 points. He is the youngest member to play on the All-Star game, in the All-Star game. He's 2 months younger than Dikembe Mutombo.
Keep it up, keep it up.
1:20 left in the first half tie ball game. Williams from afar. And he is now the Nuggets' leading scorer with 11. Denver by 1.
Jim Peterson called for the foul inside, and as soon as the whistle blew, you could hear Dikembe say, yes, all the way over here. Mutombo really agreeing with the call, and he and Peterson once again having a few words.
Lickney scraps. Here is Owens. 3-on-1. Crowd wants that breakaway foul. Garland gets number 3.
Well, Winston didn't mean any harm here. You see he's going to take the foul. He wraps up Hardaway, and then he stays right with him all the way out of bounds, making sure that Tim doesn't fall down. Take it from another angle. Good foul.
That still should be a breakaway foul.
You think so?
Yep. Yep. I mean, there's so many. Such a chance for causing injury on something like that. What's the feeling? I don't know. Have you been grabbed from behind like that when you're going full speed? I mean, it has to be a jarring feeling when that happens.
Yeah,
to
but
you.
I think if you see what Winston did when he wraps you up and holds on, make sure that you don't fall. There's nothing dirty intended.
Yeah, but it's an intentional foul. What he's doing is intentional, trying to keep him away. And there's always danger of an injury in that kind of a situation. Finger roll by Lichty, and a beauty. What great control he has with the fingertips.
What a great effort the Nuggets are giving here in this first half. This might be the best half of basketball they've played on the road all year.
Hardaway doing a job snaking his way through, but the Nuggets get it back. 34 seconds to go, and Denver nursing a 2-point lead. Garland takes it in quickly. Here's Hardaway, and again he gets the wrap-up treatment.
I think right now Tim would probably agree with your point of view, Al.
As with the fans, but Hardaway at least understands that both of the Nuggets did hold on to him and weren't trying to cause any injury.
Well, and last time they saved themselves a point when Hardaway missed the second free throw. Let's see if they do as well this trip.
But in both instances, there's no way the Nuggets are going for the ball. That's certainly an intentional type of foul. And I think the league should just look into that because it's a very dangerous situation. Jaren Jackson, who was just signed to a 10-day contract, former teammate of Dikembe Mutombo at Georgetown. He's been playing in the CBA.
He comes in for Billy Owens. The Nuggets will go for one shot here. And so Don Nelson wants to make sure Owens doesn't pick up the fourth foul.
And he comes up with the steal and the basket. Real carelessness on the part of the Nuggets in the closing seconds of the half.
And a defensive switch for Don Nelson pays off when Jackson comes up with the hoop.
Now the Nuggets need a basket to tie it, or maybe a three. Williams, beauty. Oh, that dazzles the crowd. 13 now for Williams. Hardaway has 1 second. Nice defense by Garland. Oh! And Hardaway gave it a run.
16-16.
But as Don Nelson looks up and checks the scoreboard, he's
Off the bench, the Nuggets only had 12 the entire game last night against the Lakers.
Second half begins. Marciulionis has been inserted in the starting lineup for the second half, along with Hardaway, Mullen, Hill, and Owens. So Tyrone Hill in the middle again against Mutombo. Mario Elie started the game, replaced here in the second half by Marciulionis. The Nuggets have Garland and Macon with Mutombo, Anderson, and Williams. Macon now 2 of 8 from the field. Williams blindsided, but Mutombo reaches in and finds the open man. Williams pulls the trigger. Owens with Mullen. The strip by Garland and the foul. The crowd wondering, why didn't he pass the ball to Mullen?
Or Marciulionis, or any of the open Warriors. I don't understand this. Billy's got 2 teammates coming down the other side, Marciulionis and Mullen. He tries to take it in. He's going to get the 2 free throws, the foul on Winston. But if he gives up the basketball, Mullen has an easy lay.
Well, we said he's versatile, but he's not that versatile. He could play the shooting guard, but not the point guard.
Paul either wants play number 2 or his chest itches. One of the 2.
Well, that was a couple of hot dogs. Hold the mustard. Warriors jump in front to start the second half. 1 minute in. Mullen out on Macon. Nuggets now have 9 seconds to shoot. Mutombo grabs it. His 9th rebound. Cadillac has been quiet tonight compared to his other outings against the Warriors. He has hurt the Warriors. And now Mutombo goes down. Mutombo is down, holding his ankle.
Still sitting down about midcourt as play continues. Officials can't stop it because Golden State has the ball. Only 4 Nuggets defending. Mutombo finally up, now walking to the bench.
Hill gets it. Mutombo tries to get back in action. And this at least will get the clock stopped. There's a jump ball between Marciulionis and Williams, and there is the franchise, Dikembe Mutombo, who has been able to withstand all his playing time without any serious injury.
He missed a couple of practice sessions earlier this week because of the ankle. Now he's going to the bench. Joe Wolf checks in. Let's see if Jim Gillen, the trainer, looks at his ankle or if he just got the wind knocked out of him. No, he's taken off his tennis shoe. It's that ankle again.
2 minutes into the third quarter. Hardaway. And Williams reaches up. And now Williams starts out. He sees Garland but can't get it to him. Marciulionis ahead of the pack. Marciulionis, who had been bothered by back spasms, missed the last couple of games. Losses to Los Angeles and to Portland. Nuggets looking for their first point in the second half, and there is a turnover. It was turnovers that killed the Nuggets the last time here. They had 26 turnovers in that game, a game that got away in the fourth quarter.
They're retaping Dikembe's ankle. Paul wants a 20-second timeout. That was a kick ball, and so a new shot clock. And Dikembe continues to have his ankle retaped. We'll see if he's able to get back in the game when that process is completed.
Looked like he was able, when he eventually walked over to the bench, was able to put pressure on the foot. And now the Nuggets trying to get going again to find the energy that we saw in the first 24 minutes. A solid first half for the Nuggets on the road tonight. Knotted up with the Golden State Warriors at 60, but so far it's been all Golden State here in the first couple of minutes of the second half. All Golden State, but not much of Golden State, thinks Don Nelson. They've only scored 4. Owens twists away from Joe Wolf.
Joe Wolf looks at the official, Jimmy Clark, under the basket. He wanted a hook. He thought he was hooked with Billy Owens' elbow as Owens drove around him for the dunk.
Owens continues to drive around him like that. He will get the hook from his coach. Nuggets are down to 7 seconds on the shot clock. And not a good shot. Warriors trying to break it open here. Out of the gate in the second half. The hard drive again by Marciulionis. And it goes off of 2 Nuggets. That one ricocheting off of Anderson and Wolf.
Well, Tyrone Hill reached over Cadillac's shoulder and got his hand on the ball, and then it hits Joe Wolf before going out of bounds. Watch Hill from the backside here, over the back right there of Cadillac. It goes off Joe Wolf's chest and out of bounds.
This one goes against the Warriors. I believe it's Tyrone Hill. It would be his 4th.
It is, and very quickly, Victor Alexander up off the bench. He'll be coming in. Tyrone will probably have a seat for the rest of the third period.
So Hill goes out. He had the quick start, 7 points, 6 rebounds, and that came early. But now lassoed by foul trouble. So the Big 8 scoring leader, Victor Alexander out of Iowa State, is back in. And congestion inside. This one goes against Mark Macon. 3rd foul on Macon, who gets crossed up.
We've seen the moving screen called more in this ball game, I think, Al, than we've seen the entire first half of the season.
Yeah.
Owens. Marciulionis, and he's stripped by Williams. So there was Marciulionis holding Williams, who makes it turnover number 14 for the Nuggets.
Dikembe on the bench. The Golden State Warriors are the team that's doing a job on the offensive glass.
And it's an 8-0 run here in the second half for the Warriors. Nuggets have yet to score. We've played 4 minutes. Williams. Anderson pushing off. And Anderson a little upset at that. He took a long look at Marciulionis. Second foul on Anderson. Chris Jackson, Boas said looking for some offense. Jackson did not give it to him in the first half, missing all 4 of his shots. But this is another half. The steal by Macon, who had 6 the other night against Milwaukee. And there's Jackson. The setup by Reggie Williams. So Jackson hits his first shot off the bench in the second half. And it's the first point for the Nuggets. And we're nearly 5 minutes into the third quarter. And Mutombo is getting ready to come back. A good sign for Denver. Mutombo walking off the bench, getting ready to check. Or the Lowry Ticket Tour Center is back. And we could all breathe a sigh of relief. Mullen takes it right in to test Mutombo. And the foul.
Dikembe says, I never moved. He was the one who caused the contact. A veteran move by the Western Conference starting all-star forward here. As he does go into Dikembe, draws the foul. The basket will count.
Daryl Garrettson and kind of like Anderson.
Daryl says, okay, that's enough, and you better not say another word.
Daryl's got to get a little more animated, I think. You know, then he might be able to make it in this business. 3-point play for Chris Mullen, who has 19 points. And the Warriors open up their biggest lead. 6.5 to go in the third quarter. Mutombo inside, jostling with Alexander, and then gesturing towards Garrettson, and it leaves Mullen with a breakaway. 21 now for Chris Mullen. Williams walks in, and a nice setup by Mark Macon. 17 now for Williams. Owens, and he is fouled as Reggie Williams goes flying into the seats.
What a great pass by Timmy Hardaway. There was a very small margin for error on this pass, and Hardaway fits it in to Owens perfectly. See Reggie Williams reaching for the ball. There's the foul. Not much of a foul, but nonetheless, Owens has a free throw, but he misses.
15 points for Owens tonight. Warriors have had success pulling away from the Nuggets this season series in the fourth quarter. Mutombo misses the dunk. Warriors tonight doing it in the third quarter.
This copyright program is presented by the authority of the NBA and the Denver Nuggets and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the expressed or written permission of the NBA, the Nuggets, and KWGN is prohibited.
The fourth foul was called on Mark Macon. So he's out. Todd Lickney is in. Billy Owens, who left Syracuse after his junior year, selected by Sacramento as the third pick in the draft. And when that was announced, all of Denver was ecstatic because it meant it left Dikembe Mutombo available for the Nuggets on the fourth pick. And then Owens, right before opening night, traded from Sacramento to Mitch Richmond. So Mutombo's missed the last 2 from underneath. And wheeling out is Hardaway. Marciulionis drills it. And then he is drilled by Anderson. Here's Jackson on the run. He slips by. The Nuggets have just blown their third straight layup. And the Warriors blow their layup opportunity. Entertainment's going to get good usage of that last sequence.
It's starting to look a little bit like lunchtime at the Y. Neither team able to convert. The Nuggets flat out missed the layup, and then overpassing right here. You see Alexander try and go back to Billy Owens. He should have shot the ball instead. And the Nuggets on the fast break. Reggie forgets the basketball, and the foul right there by Hardaway.
There it looked like Alexander's ragtime band. Jackson, no. Mutombo reaching over Mullen. They did it right that time. And they're doing it right here in the third quarter. The Warriors outscored the Nuggets 19-6 in this third period. It was tied at halftime. It's now the Warriors by 13. Afternoon, one of the ABA teams to, of course, merge into the NBA along with the Nuggets, Nets, and San Antonio.
I don't know what Don Nelson.
The Warriors showing you their explosive potential.
Offensive foul number 55.
It's against Mutombo, and it all started when Mutombo went out with the ankle injury.
See if we can pick up the moving screen again. Right there, Dikembe. Hardaway hadn't cleared behind the screen, and Mutombo started to the baseline. The moving pick and another turnover by Denver.
Oh, what was that? Hardaway was in bounds when he threw it in. And now the whistle blows, and I believe Darryl Garrettson is on top of this. Or he may have called it as a Nugget tipping the pass, forcing Hardaway out.
And that goes as a delay of game against the Nuggets.
The Nuggets have 20 turnovers in the game, of which 10 have come here in the third quarter to help the Warriors get out on a lot of their breaks. And there is a turnover by the Golden State Warriors. Owens is certainly racking up a lot of TOs. Liberty for three. 2.5 minutes to go. The Nuggets have been held to 6 points in this period. Mullen, swish.
Victor Alexander showing you on that last play, you don't have to be a great leaper to be a great rebounder. He had good position on Mutombo. He rebounded the ball flat on the ground. And as a result, the Warriors go down and score another 2 points.
Nearly 10 minutes gone by in the period. The Nuggets have scored 3 field goals. And there was one that was wasted. Don't shoot those, Joe, until they count. Foul is on Alexander. He gets his third. And the hand for Owens, who goes out. A sensational third quarter for Owens, showing you what he can do with a basketball. Many things. 13 points in the third for Owens. And another dazzling move, a 360 for Marcus Liberty, perhaps in honor of David Thompson watching back in Denver.
But did you notice Don Nelson? He's never satisfied. Always the teacher. Billy Owens did 14 things right so far in this third period, 1 thing wrong, and Nelson was reminding him of 1 thing he could have done better.
Chris Gatling, the first-round draft pick from Old Dominion. Hardaway for 3. Barcelonas. And that's blocked. Liberty flying over the head of Victor Alexander.
We've said it time and time again, Marcus Liberty, easily the best athlete on this Nuggets team. Hardaway's 3-pointer comes up short. Watch Liberty get up after Alexander comes away with the ball to knock this away. It's like a volleyball spike.
And that one's rejected by Mutombo.
That was goaltending. The ball hit the glass first.
But the Nuggets get the basket, and once again, that Liberty to Lichty connection. For 3. Swish. One of the great pure shooters in the history of the game. Chris Mullen, his total climbs to 26 points. 1 under his average, which ranks number 4 in the league. 1 minute left. The double team on Mutombo, and they deny him of that hoop.
Dikembe took the ball behind his back, getting ready to spring for the dunk, and Mullen will reach around behind. Watch Dikembe bring it too far over his head right there, and Mullen knocks it away.
You really have to be precision perfect against the Warriors.
30, Marcus Liberty.
16 now for Liberty. And the Nuggets have gotten into double figures in this third quarter. Check that. That's 14 points for Marcus. Cadillac Anderson is coming in.
Did you see the official threw the ball to Hardaway? Hardaway bent over to tie his shoe, let the ball just roll over, and now the officials first weren't going to let Cadillac come in. Now they say okay.
And they are allowing Cadillac to get in the game. Inside a minute to go in this third period, which is the quarter that is separating these two teams on the scoreboard. Alexander, who has been a pleasant surprise.
And you sure can't see the difference with Golden State's inside people when Dikembe leaves the game. Alexander easily up and over on that one.
Loose ball foul, Marcus Liberty going over the back. And it's the third foul on Marcus Liberty. And
30, Marcus Liberty, his third.
with 25 seconds to go, we come all the way down to the other end of the floor.
Paul Westhead won't be upset with that play. Being down by 20, he needs some aggressive play. And Liberty, a foul trying to go over the back of somebody for the offensive rebound.
What's the penalty? 2 shots.
Marciulionis will have a couple of shots. He's the top scoring sixth man in the league, averaging 19 points a game.
When Mitch Richmond was traded to Sacramento for Billy Owens, a lot of people thought that Don Nelson was breaking up a high-scoring tandem. But now you add Marciulionis to Hardaway and Mullen, and they are still the leading threesome scoring-wise in the NBA. Jordan, Pippen, and Grant are second.
Those three combined for nearly 70 points a game. And I tell you, Dan, that has to qualify as tonight knock your socks off statistic. Nuggets have 7 seconds to shoot. And way out, 20 feet from the basket, Askew with a foul. And he'll right now give it back to the Nuggets with just under 8 seconds to go and a final shot.
The Warriors defense has been unbelievably aggressive in this third period compared to the way they played in the first half.
Almost got another one. Garland. Ooh, Garland and Marciulionis collide. And a foul is called there on Marciulionis. A flying body belt. 14, that's 4 fouls now on Marciulionis.
Now the quarter's ended, but Winston going to get a couple of free throws right there as the foul is called on Marciulionis.
And then since both players are going for the ball, Marciulionis at 6'5", and they list him at 200, looks even heavier than that. So Garland will wrap up this third quarter with a couple of gifts. And I tell you, quite frankly, Don Nelson should not be allowed on the floor while Winston Garland is taking his foul shots. It was tied at 60 at the end of the half. But the Warriors have outscored the Nuggets 33. Has 19 points, 10 rebounds. Nuggets led by Reggie Williams with 17 points. Liberty off the bench has 14. Mutombo 10 points, 11 boards. He was pushed out of bounds, but called for traveling.
Daryl Garrison is hurt now. Don Nelson over checking on him. I don't know if he pulled a hamstring or hurt a knee, but he is in some pain right now. See if we can take another look at it. Todd drops it off to Dikembe. He gets a little shove from behind by Marciulionis and is called for the travel.
And actually, Darrell was in the area, may have been moving away, might have stubbed his toe. And we are isolating now on Garrettson, as you see the end line. Oh, it was Todd Lichty falling in.
I think Todd stepped on his foot. And
the head of officials has got to be 50-something. Still officiating selected ball games. Darrell Garrettson. The Nuggets with a trap, and they force the turnover.
Ely started to go for that ball and then backed away. Don Nelson says, "What is wrong with you? Don't panic."
The Nuggets start this fourth quarter 19 points down. And Jimmy Clark makes the call inside, and this is going against Golden State. And Mario Elie may hear it again from Don Nelson. Matter of fact, Don Nelson now quickly inserting Tim Hardaway, but it will be for Vincent Askew.
I think Don Nelson, realizing he needed a ball handler on the floor, he didn't have one. Hardaway quickly into the fray.
How did that happen? Mullen getting a rest with 26 points. Hard drive by Lichty. They call a jump ball. Mutombo is finding out, especially with Golden State, he can't take a split second, can't put the ball on the floor.
I tell you, Marciulionis is like ants at a picnic. He just ruins it for everybody. Marciulionis
at 6'5" against the 7'2". Mutombo. Marciulionis beats him to the jump. He didn't out-jump him. He beat him to the jump, which on a jump ball is more important.
Well, the ball was barely above Dikembe's head, and it's kind of hard to tap the ball when it doesn't get above your chin.
1 minute into the fourth quarter. Nuggets with a terrific first half, and now a long climb uphill here in the fourth to get back in this game. Outscored 33-14 in the third period. But right now Mullen is resting on the bench, so is Owens. And the Nuggets strike first here in the fourth quarter. Gatlin with the change of pace. First round draft pick out of Old Dominion. Played in only 18 games this year. Making that transition from center position in school to essentially a small forward here. Rejection there by Gatlin, but Lichty gets it back. He plows inside, and Mutombo finishes it off. A dozen now for Mutombo. Behind the back goes Marciulionis, and a picture-perfect pass to Gatlin.
Gatlin proving that he's pretty clever around that basket. Two nice left-handed layups.
Mutombo and Alexander going at it. And Garrettson catches Mutombo. His fourth.
Been a pretty frustrating evening for Dikembe. Right there, you see the elbow up. You can push and shove, wrestle for position, but you can't raise those elbows.
First rookie selected to the All-Star game since David Robinson several years ago. Mutombo newly voted to the starting squad. Hardaway, who will be on the starting squad, serves one up to Chris Gatlin, who has certainly made an immediate impact since being inserted in the game. The Coliseum in Oakland explodes. The Nuggets have called a timeout, and the Warriors have opened it up to 21 with some dazzling displays. Start time between the Nuggets and the Pacers. Autograph session if you want to come down at 11 o'clock from 11 to 12 with all the legends of Nuggets basketball.
How come it took 3 quarters for Don Nelson to put Chris Gatling in the game? Lichty tries to get in for the layup, and again with the left hand, Gatlin throws it away.
Liberty, swish. Does it count though? Foul was inside. I believe the basket will count, and there's a foul isolated away from the ball. Marcus Liberty gets the hoop. 16 points. And meantime, underneath the basket, Alexander gets his 4th foul with a shove on Dikembe Mutombo.
Dikembe, a perfect 7 of 7 from the free throw line last night against the Lakers, but he's none of 3 here tonight.
Alexander, and there's Gatlin going over Anderson, but Lichty, there's a little of that Marciulionis in him. He's all over the place. Now speaking of the Devils.
He gets up ahead of steam. He's a tough man to stop. You certainly don't want to get in front of him and try and take a charge.
And he steals it. 3-on-1, Ellie all the way. And there is Gatlin. Marciulionis. Mutombo swats it away. And Lichty comes up with a loose ball. I think it's going to be a contest tonight between Marciulionis and Lichty. Who comes up with the most loose balls? Ellie gets a piece of this. What is going on? The crowd explodes in appreciation of the effort of the Golden State Warriors.
Well, they didn't have much to cheer about in the first half, but it's been all Golden State. Marciulionis rips the ball away from Lichty. Down at the other end, Gatlin with the tip in. Marciulionis comes up with another steal. And that time Dikembe says enough is enough. There's 1 block by the Warriors, 2 blocks by the Warriors, and finally the foul on Hardaway, and Liberty with 2 foul shots.
And he sinks them both. 18 points now for Liberty. Crowd urging Warriors to shoot. 4 minutes gone by in the 4th quarter. The Warriors lead it by 21. It was a tie game at halftime. Jaren Jackson, the new Warrior. Rejected by Mutombo. Grabbed down by Mutombo. Chris Jackson. And the second field goal for Jackson tonight. Mutombo having a big night on the block shots. We have unofficially 5, but I think it's more than that. Hardaway. 15 for Hardaway, is the 7th leading scorer in the NBA. 23 points a game. 7 minutes to go in this one. The perfect pass. Anderson gets it over Alexander, and Mutombo now with 14.
Well, that lob pass came from the middle of the floor, so there was no weak side defense to take it away.
Mutombo rips it away and then is fouled by Hardaway, who next Sunday will be his all-star teammate in Orlando.
4th team foul.
Team foul number 4 on the Warriors.
Number 52, Victor Alexander.
Dikembe with the strong rebound, and Hardaway reaching in.
Mutombo has officially now, it's 7 blocks. 7 block shots from Mutombo.
Nuggets need to score here in a hurry. I don't know if they've got time to stand around and pound the basketball.
Watch out. And a takedown by Mutombo. Gatlin goes down hard. And Mutombo apologetic to Gatlin, and Don Nelson coming out now. Mutombo has been Mutombo is telling Nelson that you guys have been butchering me all night. Nelson went through this with Mike Dunleavy, the Lakers, after a vicious game earlier in the season, early this week.
Gatlin takes a pretty hard foul against Dikembe, and then gets his leg caught
Foul charge, number 25, Chris Gatlin.
up with Dikembe's arm, and you see right there, kind of twists his knee, and that could have been a nasty injury.
Gatlin is very fortunate to be able to walk away from this one.
Number 55,
It's a very physical game in LA earlier in the week, and Nelson complaining about the tactics of the Lakers, feeling that they were trying to beat up on the Warriors, who are a tired team. And then Mike Dunleavy of the Lakers said, hey, the Warriors have the most physical team in the league. That made Nelson laugh. He says, hey, the toughest guy on my team is my point guard, Tim Hardaway. But you see, this Warrior club gambles. They're an incredibly chippy team. There must be more welts on the Nuggets after this game than any game this year.
Well, I don't know if you would call them physical, Al, but they certainly have their hands all around the basketball, and Dikembe remains imperfect from the free throw line.
6.5 minutes to go. And Hill will be sent to the foul line. That's foul number 4 on Marcus Liberty. Don Nelson taking advantage of giving Chris Mullin a prolonged rest. The Warriors will leave by charter tonight after the game to head east to New York, where they'll face the next Sunday afternoon. And very wisely, Paul Westhead now gets Mutombo out of there. It's a jungle in there. And this one is over, so.
Dikembe certainly up and down on his free throw shooting. He was 1 of 6 against Milwaukee, a perfect 7 for 7 last night, and he's 0 for 5 tonight.
Nuggets, Paul Westhead also does not want to leave Mutombo out there for any possible retaliation by some of the Warriors. Although Marciulionis is now out of the game.
number 30, Marcus Liberty.
Marcus Liberty with 20 points, and he is moving closer and closer to his season high.
And he keeps playing like this, and he's going to make Paul Westhead give him more playing time.
Jackson, and there's Liberty with the left hand. Against Atlanta, that Liberty had 23, his tops for the season. 5.5 left in the ball game. It carry categories. 3rd in assists, 7th in scoring, and he's 9th in steals. Anderson baseline for the scoop.
Quiet night for the Cadillac. 6 points, 8 points now, and 6 rebounds.
Tyrone Hill, and coming hard on the arms, Cadillac Anderson, putting a little more mustard on that shot. And now rare appearances off the bench for Anthony Cook and the rookie Kevin Brooks with 5 minutes to go. So Anderson sits down next to Mutombo. 2 Nugget forces off the boards this year, both ranked in the top 10 in rebounding. And Tyrone Hill to the foul line for a couple of shots. Hill has started every game. Last year as a rookie out of Xavier, 1st round draft pick. 11th pick in the draft, looked to be a major disappointment. Kevin Brooks fills it from the outside. So, Dan, we get another chance to see the sharpshooter from southwestern Louisiana. Nugget 1st round draft pick.
And it might be garbage time for everybody else, but Kevin Brooks and Anthony Cook certainly not looking at it that way.
Run down by Joe Wolf. The Nuggets have a lineup of Jackson with Liberty, Cook, Brooks, and Wolf. .4:15 on the clock in the 4th. Jim Peterson airs one out. The veteran who's had one injury problem after another. Now at the end of the bench, but seeing some spot duty. Liberty, swish.
Marcus Liberty.
That's 22 now for Marcus Liberty. He is one shy of his season high.
Okay, I absolutely love Marcus Liberty. He is a great athlete, and he continues to improve. He's going to solve the Nuggets' small forward problem for a long, long time to come. Remember, this should only be his true rookie year in the NBA.
And Hill sends a souvenir to the crowd. But a foul is called on the Nuggets. Treat your car to high-performing Citgo gasoline and participating 7-Elevens. Citgo gasoline with HTA 1000 is one of the most advanced cleaning fuels you can buy. Let's check out that Citgo 7-Eleven scoreboard.
76ers win at home, New York on the road, and Charlotte loses to Seattle. It's the Clippers.
Tyrone Hill fills up the 2 foul shots. Scott Hastings making an appearance now in the final 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Terrific first half. Brooks for 3, and he nails it. So Kevin Brooks comes out firing as it is 2 long bombs. Gatlin takes it in, and Liberty now hustling out. He needs a basket for season high. And he nearly made it in highlight reel fashion. And it's good to see Chris Gatlin back in there. Scary moment when he went down. Nice kid, freshman out of Old Dominion. And he is back in the lineup. And will be back. All-time Denver team, the Legends team, will be unveiled at the half.
Over 40.
And of course, that all proceeds to the Nuggets Community Fund. I'll give you a number to call to make your reservations. Anthony Cook takes it inside.
I might add that in addition to all the former players and coaches and trainers, this year's Nuggets team will be in attendance tomorrow night as well.
As they will also be on Sunday afternoon.
Let's hope so.
This is against, it's 893-1030, and the extension is 1105. So call that number to make reservations for tomorrow night's 25th year anniversary banquet. And Anthony Cook buries it. 120-101 in favor of the Warriors, who will snap their 3-game losing streak as they head east for a 4-game trip. New York, Miami, Orlando, and Charlotte are on the agenda. Nuggets head home Sunday afternoon to face the Pacers. The Warriors will up their record to 27-13. Liberty still looking for the season high. And Anthony Cook putting together a season high for himself of 6. Crowd wanted Jackson to get into it. And that ends it.
Final score, 124-103. Warriors.
It was 60-60 at the end of the first half. But in the second half, the Warriors outscored the Nuggets 64-43.